So now we are going to, I was talking about how if you move these farther to the left, it will pick up the darker values from the scan. So air around the face shows as black on the scan, and now we're applying these colors to it, and so even the air will turn red. And again, if we go to the right, only the whitest parts of the scan will have these colors applied to it. And what's really cool about Osirix and 16-bit color lookup tables, and this is a color lookup table, is first of all that we can adjust these. So we can change the colors. We can change the colors if we choose. Or we can add a curve. You can do it there. You can hit the little plus mark here, and it creates a new curve. So let's say we wanted to capture skin. This decides how transparent it is. So if we lower this, the skin then becomes transparent. We can further enhance that by changing the colors so we have some complementary colors going on, and I'm just going to arbitrarily pick a light green and a dark blue. Okay, and so now we can start to get things, some interesting information about skin depths, relative positions, tip of the nose to the nasal spine, those sorts of things. And again, at any time, we could zoom in on an area, hit Command-Shift-3, and we would have that. We would have a screen grab of that saved to our desktop. All right. The higher these go, the more opaque they become, and the lower they are, the less opaque they are. And again, let's look at what we have here. I'm going to move all these things over to the right. This is our data, right? So the whitest stuff is to the right, the darkest stuff is to the left. Air, bone, and contrast. Okay, and then all the soft tissues are in between. Now then, what happens if we look at this, drop this down, and we look at where bone is. If we go through and delete a large section of bone, we're going to see our histogram change. Our histogram is a dynamic thing, so if we erase something with the scissor tool, so if we circumscribe an area like that and delete it, our histogram will change shape. This is showing us a live update of what is on our scene, in our scene. So this data is out here, it's up here. It's not in here, is it? Okay. We're not going to do that though. So we're going to revert the series to get out of there. And there we are. And we can add a new curve. And we're back where we started, right? So this in and of itself is very, very useful for you. I hope it will be anyhow. Our export functions are all over here. And we can adjust our shading in here as well. And I'll try to make some demos that show you that. But this is really should demonstrate for you the basics. And what I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you to find the CLUTs, C-A-L-I-X data set, and I would like for you to make two curves. And I would like for you to transparentize the skin, and your curves might look something like this in the CLUTs data set as well. Double click inside here to change the colors. Okay? And then I'd like for you to adjust this and optimize it so that we don't see, we have a transparentized kind of blue skin, and I'd like for you to make a CLUTs data set which shows the kidneys and the spine and the skin as well. Okay, and I think that would be a good exercise. And then I'd like for you to make a fly-through movie, and this is how you make a fly-through movie. Let's say we're going to make a fly-through movie where we rotated around and brought the crop tool in to crop out part of the head. What we do is we just bring up this menu from fly-through, right, and click a keyframe. Notice this keyframe matches where we are here. So it's just going to be a series of adjusting what we see in this window, setting a keyframe, and the computer will interpolate and export it as a movie. So there's a move and a rotate. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in the crop tool, and I'm going to crop it in from the side like this. Set a keyframe, rotate it to the side, maybe adjust the window leveling. Actually, I don't think the window leveling works on a 16-bit image. It didn't used to anyway. So you might try this, but I don't think it's going to yield a good result. If it doesn't, don't adjust. Try it once, and if it doesn't, don't adjust the window leveling. Don't adjust these curves. Leave them as they are. Once you've created your movie, if you have 5 frames in your movie, you want to add roughly 30 frames per step. So 5 times 3 is 150. Click Compute and click Save. 768 by 768 is fine. And it will go through and it will export the movie. And you had to give it a name. You need to remember what that name is. And what it's doing is it's basically creating keyframes. It's creating frames from your keyframes that you set for your movie. And it will create them into a QuickTime movie, which you can export. And I'll show you about saving the movie in the next step. That way we don't have to sit here and wait for this thing to render. Okay? Thanks.